What's up, everybody? Sean Zinsmeister here. We're the product leads for the Google Data Cloud team. And today, I'm really excited to walk through full stack vibe coding with the help of our cloud databases with Cloud SQL and Firestore and our friends at AI Studio. So, what I've built today is a neighborhood marketplace application to showcase as an example. I'll walk you through how we built what we built and also how the application works behind the scenes. So this is a marketplace app. Think of your local neighborhood. You've got folks that want to be able to post tools, respond to tools, things that they need. They've got problems, jobs, different chores that they need help with. They may not have the tools on hand. Makes it easy for them to post, borrow, return, and all that good stuff. All right. So we started off with a high level prompt because we want to just give some context to get the app rolling. So AI Studio immediately started doing its thing. It automatically detected that I was going to need a relational database, and it instantly provisioned me a Cloud SQL database along with the right project architecture, region, secure authorization and syncing, a ton of really good stuff here. So let's go ahead and we can review the settings for everything that we already have available behind the scenes. We'll dive deeper into the architecture in just a moment. So already we've got our Cloud SQL database that's all set up. You can see it's got the demo project that I have here. It's got where the data is stored as well. And so we can easily just kind of check off our different integrations. It's also got Firestore, which is powering the kind of real-time streaming, which is the kind of community clipboard feature that I'll show you in just a little bit. Let's just kind of walk through some of the different features that we added here. And so, search was really key. So having that relational database with Cloud SQL is going to be really, really important for making sure we have a really nice search experience because you want to make it easy for people to find things that they need. Here on the right, we've got this community clipboard. This is all powered by Firestore because what we wanted to allow is, we've got Elena here who, needs a very tall ladder. We need to pick it up in a heartbeat. And of course, we've got Arthur who was able to respond really quickly. So able to connect people in real time so they can get what they need. Super powerful, all made possible with Firestore. The other things is we've also added Google Auth that we vibe coded as well. So this allows me to kind of be able to track my different returns. I can even post things as well. So if I wanted to list another tool, I can do that and it'll write right to the database. Here's the tool that I actually created. You can see here I am the lender and included a description. And so now that is available. Let's go through a few of the other things that we vibe coded. Obviously, the look and feel. AI Studio does a great job of picking out some really nice palettes for me that's user friendly. It kind of was able to kind of describe and work right through what we wanted, all down to the different hex codes and things like that are really important for making a really usable app. All right, so once we've had kind of the component layouts, take you on our journey. Again, we are using Gemini 3.5 Flash, the latest model, to build everything that you're seeing here today. All right, so we've got some sample data that we generated as well. I had to vibe code some of the visuals because it would come up with some funny things every once in a while. And so I kind of had to keep myself in the loop to make sure that it was really kind of tuning into the product names and finding the right images that were going to be relevant because I wanted that to be a good experience as well. All right, so we played with that a little bit. Now, the other thing is then we kind of went and set up this community clipboard and live activity feed. I actually wrote this I switched over to consumer Gemini, wrote out like a really short, almost like mini PRD for what I wanted here. And you can see all of this is kind of vibe coded in the description. So also using agents and sub agents within vibe coding, really, really helpful. This helped me, I wanted to use Firestore here. What was the best type of capability to showcase? That's where we came up with this community clipboard that turned out really nice. As you can see all the breakdown of componentry here, and it's given it the different breakdown in terms of design and all that good stuff. All right, the other thing that we also wanted to do here was, search was really important. So I noticed when I first started searching, the search experience was not super great. You need to be able to have a search experience that handles things like semantic search and misspellings and things like that. So I was able to actually just vibe code this. We'll skip all the way down to the end, where you can see that we've put the smart search logic and architecture now into place. So those types of little slips that are often found in search don't lead to a poor experience, like no matching results. We didn't want it to have it be such a strict experience. Okay, let's now take a look behind the scenes at the architecture for what's going on. So we'll go ahead and make this full screen so we can really see what we got here. Again, our entire application is built with this hybrid architecture with Cloud SQL that's focused on all the transactions and Firestore for the real-time stream as well. And I built this little almost demo framework piece with the help of AI Studio to showcase all the different things that are going on. User signs in with Google Auth. It's going to pop that standard window that you're used to seeing that gives me the unique ID badge. Then we're going to go through the token verification. This is kind of the security gate where the browser passes the ID badge to the backend server, which instantly double checks it with Google security systems to confirm the users are who they say that they are. Phase 3, we've got our resident registry. So once verified, a smart system, it's called Drizzle, checks the master spreadsheet. If it's a new neighbor, it automatically creates an official profile. And if they already exist, it instantly updates as well. The borrow reserves a tool. So when a neighbor hits that borrow button, this is where the database transaction locks the tool so nobody else can grab it. Flips its status to unavailable and logs a secure receipt in our reservation ledger. So we can actually show you. Let's say we're going to go ahead and borrow this tool, switch this up. We're going to do this for tomorrow. There we go. Switch to our architecture. And you can sort of start to see like how the data is going through with like all the reservations and users and tools right here in the live ERD as well. All right, back to our flow here. Okay, so this is what's happening with the borrower. That's going to prevent, like you saw, when I borrow that tool, it's going to lock it up. It's a secure receipt in our reservations ledger. The other thing too is that we've got the broadcast feature. This is going to be the moment that the master ledger transaction succeeds. The server is immediately going to post that digital sticky note that you saw for our live community to announce the update. And you saw that, right here, which is kind of the stream of the different feeds that people have been posting. And that's all thanks to what we've built with our Firestore database. All right. And finally, we'll look at the real-time stream as well for the subscribers. Every neighbor's browser is actively watching that live clipboard, so the tool instantly updates and vanishes from everybody's screen in a few milliseconds without anybody needing to hit refresh. Again, nothing is static and stale. It all really feels like a real-time streaming application. So as soon as things hit the feed, people can start to respond to it. Really, really important. Other things that we've done. So that's the full kind of phases of the app, the full like kind of life of a query end to end of the data pipeline. Again, you can see some of the other things that are going on behind the scenes. Again, got our full Cloud SQL ERD here that kind of helps us manage this through users, tools, and reservations. You can see how we can get even more sophisticated here as well as we continue to build things out. So again, took me a few minutes with a little bit of help from our agent here in AI Studio, but I've got now relational data and non-relational data, all powered by Google Cloud databases, working really, really well as a full stack application. This feels really solid and ready to go. And thanks for taking the time to listen. And per usual, let us know what you think.